Hello everyone, I am Miss Karen at Adams Memorial Library. Thank you very much for joining me for June's Bake a Tale. Bake a Tale is a program where we talk about stories and a couple of recipes and maybe a craft or two. And June's theme is Under the Sea because our summer reading theme this year is Oceans of Possibilities. So Under the Sea seemed to fit the bigger theme of oceans. And so the cookies, they're both cookies this time. The cookies look like sea creatures, like sand dollars, or, let me put that down, or starfish. See, like very fancy starfish. And the crafts this time are merfriends, so creature that could live under the sea too. So we'll have kits available that you can come and pick up in the children's room that'll have the recipes and some of the materials for you to make the crafts this time. So if you would like to come in and pick one up, just come on down to the children's room and pick up your kit, or you can always call us and request one or two, or however many you need, and pick it up through curbside service. So the cookies, the recipes, and the crafts this time for June, they're going to be easy peasy, summer breezy, friends. And if I tell you the crafts are easy, then you better believe they're easy for anyone. So they won't be too hard at all. And I do have two books that also feature mermaids this time. The first one is actually where I got both those recipes. Both the cookie recipes came from Mermaid Cookbook, which was compiled by Barbara Beery. And this is perfect for this year's summer reading theme. So if you like the ocean, you like the beach, there'll be lots of recipes in here you'll want to try. Not just the starfish and the sand dollar recipes. And the other book that I have to share with you is The Little Mermaid. And this one is retold and illustrated by the late, great Jerry Pinkney. And I really love his version. It's a little bit different than the Little Mermaid stories that you might know from Disney or from Hans Christian Andersen. I really love Jerry Pinkney's illustrations. And I also love the theme of his book, which is you should never give up your voice for anyone. So you can check out these books in the library. You can check out the cookbook for inspiration for some new recipes. And you can check out The Little Mermaid for something to read while you're waiting for your cookies to bake. Let's talk about these cookies. Now remember, when you're baking, always bake with an adult. Baking is more fun when you do it together. And both these cookies do require a hot oven. So as I said, I got both the recipes from the Mermaid Cookbook, and the one for starfish cookies, I followed the recipe exactly. And the one for the sand dollars, I was sort of inspired by the recipe. I sort of modified it a little bit. But for the starfish cookies, I just made the dough. It was easy. It was easy to work with. Rolled it out. And I used a star cookie cutter. And I actually used the frosting recipe in the book too, which calls for meringue powder, because I had some meringue powder and I hadn't used it yet. And I wanted to find a recipe to use it with. So I did that. I used the frosting and it came out really, it was nice to work with. It was nice and smooth and it looks pretty. But if you don't have meringue powder, you have a favorite recipe for frosting, you can use whatever kind of recipe you want. You can use whatever kind of frosting. It'll still work on here. You can color the frosting. You can decorate it however. So I put some sprinkles on, and then I even found some little star sprinkles, so I put those on top too. So, like I said, easy peasy summer breezy. Now these cookies, the sand dollars, this is the one I modified a little bit because the recipe calls for a tube of sugar cookie dough, which I didn't have. So I just made snickerdoodles because I always think snickerdoodles kind of remind me of sand anyways, because they're sort of that color. And then I put the slivered almonds on top in the star shape. And that's why mine don't look quite as nice as they do in the book. They still taste fine. But in the book, they slice the cookie dough, and that's why it's nice and flat. So the next time I make these, I will probably flatten the cookies even a little bit more. You roll them into a ball, and they'll spread out by themselves. But I flatten them a little bit. Next time I'll probably flatten them a little more and put the almonds closer together. but I also made some just plain, so you can just enjoy them as snickerdoodles too. So both the recipes for the starfish and the sand dollars, plus the snickerdoodles. So actually 3 recipes will be in your kit, so you can do a combination and you can enjoy all kinds of cookies too. As I said, the crafts are really not that hard. The hardest part might be deciding how to decorate. The first one that we're going to do is a twirling mermaid. You see the mermaid? She's got a very, very, very long tail. So in the kit will be a template and some things to decorate with, some shells, some sequins, and some crystal string for hanging. So the first thing that you'll do is decide if you want to color your mer friend first or cut it out first. Either one will work, so you can do whichever is easiest for you. I cut it out first, and then I just put some paper underneath when I was coloring, or you can just color it like this. And I did color both sides and decorated both sides because I figured when it's spinning around, you'd probably be able to see both sides. When you're cutting it out, you might need an adult's help with this. It's got some small spaces there, but it's actually a little bit easier than it looks because you can cut the arm apart, and that way you can get in there under the arm and cut that part too. So cut it out, and then it's going to look like this. Decorate it however you would like. So I glued on some sequins and shells, and I used colored pencils to decorate mine. And then when I went to hang it, you see her face? A little hard to see. Put her face on. But when I went to hang it, I actually used a little pin. And this is another thing that adults can do. I used the pin to put a hole in the top because the head's not really that big. So I didn't want to use a hole punch because I thought, well, then I won't have enough room for the face. So I used the pin and I just made it wide enough to fit in the string. So then I fed the string through, tied it, looped it, tied it in a knot, and then I put a piece of tape on top, right here on top of the head to reinforce it. And then I glued some beautiful pink and blue and green yarn hair on. And then she's set to hang. Now you probably don't want to hang this twirling mermaid outside in the rain. So it probably doesn't want to be outside all the time because I don't think it's going to do too well in the rain. But you could hang it outside on a sunny day if you wanted, or you could hang it inside in front of a window and then watch it twirl. Our other craft this time is this Mer Friend bookmark. See, it goes on your book right like this, and little arms will be over the top of the page of your book. And this craft is from Red Ted Art, and I don't know Miss Maggie from Red Ted Art, but I feel if we knew each other, we would be the best of friends because I just love her ideas and she's wonderful about sharing them. She has great ideas and she's great about sharing. So Miss Maggie from Red Ted Art, she doesn't know me, but we're friends. And that's where the template came from Red Ted Art. So in your kit, there will be a template and there will be some cardstock that you can use and you can mix and match it however you would like. If you would like to make a green mermaid, you can make the mermaid's face green. It's up to you, however you want to do it. Plus it'll have the sequins and the yarn, and for this one maybe we'll put in some foam flowers too. Other things that you can use to decorate. So the first thing you'll do is cut out the pieces from the template, and you will need a tail. And this one is the arms and the face, the body of the mermaid. Or mer friend. You can make whatever kind of mer person you want. And these ones are hair. So if you want to put the hair on like this, you'll cut out the hair from the template too. And you'll trace them onto your cardstock and cut them out. So you'll have the tail and the body and some hair. You'll take the body and the head, top of the head's flat because the hair is going to go on top. Line that up with the top of the tail, and that way it'll just be a little thicker as your bookmark. So glue this down. You'll want to glue this part in the middle, but not the arms. So don't glue the arms all the way down. Otherwise it won't go over your page. So you glue this, have the arms still loosey-goosey. Glue the rest of it down. And then you'll probably need to trim a little bit of the tail away. Little parts on either side of the neck of the merfriend. Once you've done that, you can cut out the hair. And friends, this is a little tricky. Miss Maggie says it's tricky. She is not kidding. It is a little bit tricky because you see this line on here? That line is what you cut so your hair will fit over the head of the merfriend. And this one, you can see I cut a little bit too far. The idea is that you cut it just far enough, not all the way to the edge, but just far enough that you can slip the head in. Well, this one I cut a little bit too much, but that's okay because it's easier to get the head in, and that way then you can just glue it down. So this is how it's going to go. Your head will be on here, and then you'll just sort of put the hair on top and then glue it on the back. And on mine, see how that part, the white part's sticking out there? Well, I just cut some more black paper and put it across. So that way from the back, it just looks like hair. And then it is time to decorate. So you can decide however you want to do your merfriend. You can do whatever you like. I did a face and gave her some flowers. Mine's a mermaid. I gave her some flowers, glued those on. And then my friend, Miss Maggie from Red Ted Art, showed me a nifty trick, and everybody, a nifty trick for getting the sequins on. So you take liquid glue and put it down wherever you want the sequins, then lay your sequins down, and then the nifty part she showed was after it's starting to dry, you can kind of press them on with something. Press it into the paper, and that way they stay on better. You don't want your sequins falling off on the book. So I kind of use the edge of this plastic ruler and press things down, then I just clean the extra glue off. I forgot to tell you about cutting the hair. Miss Maggie has sharp scissors, and she kind of could poke a hole in and use that. My scissors were less sharp, so I took the pin that I used for the other craft and sort of just put a little line of pin pricks across. And then I could kind of work my scissors in that way. So an adult might help with that part. An adult might have to cut out this line either way. But like I said, if it's easier to just cut all the way across, you do that. That'll be fine too. And then you just glue it back together, or tape. You know, I always think tape works too. But when you're all finished and you have your merfriend however you like, then it will be perfect to use in all the books you're reading for the summer reading program. So there you go. You will be set. So friends, thank you very, very much for watching. Thanks for doing this month's Bake a Tale. If you have any questions, you can come in and ask. If you would like to show me what you did, you can come in and show me, or you can always email a picture to kids@adamslib.org. And if you can't come in for a kit, but you would just like the recipes, you can email kids@adamslib.org, and I'd be happy to send you the recipes. So come down to the children's room and pick up your kit and have fun baking, friends. And thank you very much. I'll see you next time. If you are using Beanstack for our summer reading program, please go to the Bake a Tale Foodie badge and enter the code word cookies, 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 for Bake a Tale. Thanks.